Hello everyone. Today we will learn how to create timer app using MIT App Inventor. MIT App Inventor is a program that helps you create phone applications. So the app that we will create today is the timer app. So let's have a look at the app. So this will be the user interface of our app. Our app will look something like this. Once you click on start button, the timer will start. This 0 represents hour, this 0 represents minute, and this 0 represents seconds. You can pause the timer anytime in between, and when you click on reset, the time will be reset to 0. So let's get started. To create your own project, click on the project menu, then click on start new project. Let's name our app as timer app and click on OK. Okay, I already have this project named by this app, so I will name this as timer app 1. It will take few seconds for your project to appear on the screen. We create apps using MIT App Inventor online. You can simply go to appinventor.mit.edu, then log in using your Google ID and password, or you can create your account and then log in through that account, and it will take you to this screen where you can start and create your first project. So let's start. So first of all, on the main screen we will add layouts. For that, click on the layouts panel and we will add the layout as vertical arrangement. And in the properties panel, we will set the height and width of this component to fill parent. Fill parent and width will also be fill parent. Okay. So now let's drag one more layout, horizontal arrangement. This layout is for writing the title as timer inside this. So I'll drag and drop the horizontal layout here. Now let's set the width to fill parent and let's change the height to, change the height to 15%. And now I'll go to my user interface palette and drag a label here. Now let's change the alignment of this label. So I'll click on horizontal arrangement in the components panel. Then in the properties panel, select center in align horizontal option and again center in align vertical option. So my text will be aligned at the center of this horizontal arrangement. Now let's edit the text. So I'll click on label 1. Okay, so let's change the text to timer. Okay, it's good. Now let's make the font bold and let's change the font size to 40. Yeah, you can also change the font type if you want. I'm okay with this font type and that's all. I'm done with this one. Now we will add another horizontal arrangement. So again, I'll go to the layout panel and I'll add one more horizontal arrangement here. And I'll use this horizontal arrangement to add a picture. This is optional, but I want to add a picture, so let's change the width of this to fill parent and let's keep the height to automatic. By automatic, it means that this arrangement will automatically take the height of the picture. So now we will click on user interface palette and let's drag and drop the picture component here. And in the properties panel, when the image is selected in the properties panel, go to picture option and let's upload a file. So click on choose file. Let's go to the desktop and let's select this picture. Okay, and click on OK. Yeah, this picture is pretty fine. Now let's click on image and let's change this to now 100 pixels. And again the height also to 100 pixels. Yeah, this picture looks fine. Okay, so okay, wait a minute. By mistake, I adjusted the height of my horizontal arrangement as 200 pixels and width as 200. Let me do this. Yeah. So this is fine, and picture one. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, so now because now my horizontal arrangement, all the components inside my horizontal arrangement will be aligned center, at the center of the arrangement, but my horizontal arrangement is aligned towards the left of the screen. So in this case, we will go to screen 1, click on screen 1, and from here change the align horizontal to center and this also to center. And we'll go to vertical arrangement, and here also we will change align horizontal and align vertical to center. Okay, let's do this as top, not at center. Yeah, this looks fine. So we have timer, we have picture. Now let's add another layout. So again, we'll go to the layout panel and we'll add horizontal arrangement here. And let's change the height of this to 10 or 15%. And let's change the width to fill parent. Now this horizontal arrangement will be used to add hour minute, the time for hour minute and second. So now I'll again go to my user interface palette and drag and drop the labels. So this is label 2, label 3 and label 4. Because it's an horizontal arrangement, so all the components will be placed in horizontal manner. So label 2 is for hour, so I'll rename this to hour. Let's write HR using this rename button. Label 3 is for minute, so I'll write minute here. And label 4 is for seconds, so I'll write second here. Okay, now let's come to the text. So click on HR component. In the components palette, click on HR. Then in the properties panel, let's change the property. Let's change the text to 0. And because 0 is pretty small, so I'll change the font size to again 20. 20 is also looks really small. Let's do it 40. Yeah, this looks fine. Again, click on minute and then change the text to again 0, and let's change the font size to 40. Then click on seconds, change the text to text to 0 and font size to 40. That's all about all hour, minute and seconds. Now we also need to add colon in between. So for that again we'll add labels in between. So let's add 2 labels. Label 2 and label 3. Let's change the text for label 2 as colon and change the size to again 40. And then select label 3, change the text to colon and size to 40. Okay, now I want all these 0, 0, 0 to appear at the center of the arrangement. So I'll go to horizontal arrangement 3 and change the alignment from left to center and vertical align from top to center. This looks fine, but now if you wish to add some space in between, then what you need to do is you can change the height of your label. So let's width of your label. So let's select label 2 and see, I'll just show you how you can change the width. If I go to width and I change the width to 10% and click on OK, see, it will add some space in between. So again go to label 3 and let's change the width to 10%. Okay, and because the text is left aligned in this label, so because the text alignment is selected as left, so make it center in the case of label 2. Then again in the case of label 3 also, in the properties panel, change the text alignment to center. Now this looks fine now. Okay, this much space is fine. Now for start, pause and reset, I need 3 buttons. So we'll add 3 buttons here. Okay, and now let's change the name for these buttons to start, then pause, and then next one is reset button. So reset. And now I'll format these buttons one by one. So let's click on the start button in the components palette, and then let's change the text to start, and let's also change the shape to rounded, and color to, let's change the color to white. Again, let's go to the pause button and change the text to pause, shape to rounded. You can also select rectangular shape or any other shape from the options given in the drop down menu. It's oval, rectangular, rounded or default. You can select any shape that you wish to choose, and then change the text color to white. Then the third button is the reset button. So let's change the text to reset in this case, and let's change the text color to white again. So all three buttons are fine. Now I want to increase the width of these buttons to make them look nicer. So just I like it that way. You can format the buttons whichever way you like. So let's change the width of the buttons to fill parent. Okay, so the buttons will occupy the entire width of the screen. So click on fill parent, and start also fill parent. Sorry, by mistake I changed the height, so I need to change the width to fill parent. Okay, now just change the let's change the background color of our buttons. So for the start button, let's change the background color to cyan, and for the pause button we can change the background color to, let's make it pink, and for the reset button we can change the background color to not yellow, red maybe. Yeah, red looks fine. Okay, and so now I want my entire screen colors, entire background means vertical arrangement, to the background color as black. So I can select this as black. Okay, so my reset button, the shape of my reset button is default. Let's change it to rounded. Yeah, so this looks fine, and let's change the background color of this horizontal arrangement also. Let's select black, but then I need to change the text color because it's black, so timer is not visible. Let's make it white. Yeah, so what I feel is there should be some gap between these time and the buttons. So to add that gap, what will we do? We will add a, let's add arrangement in between. So go to layout, click on layout panel, and let's add a horizontal arrangement in between. Okay, and let's change the height of this arrangement to 5%. That's it, 5. Yeah, 5 looks fine, and let's change the background color to black. Okay, so there is some space between the timers and the button. This looks fine to me now. So our user interface, or our, like the layout of the app looks like this. This is the user interface. This is how your app will look like on your device, Android or iOS device. So now let's just code these buttons. So to code the buttons, click on the blocks window. Right now we were working on the designer window. Now we'll go to the blocks window. Now one by one I will code all the buttons. So the first button is the start button. So when the start button is clicked, when start.click, then what I want, okay, I forgot one thing. I didn't insert the clock sensor, because without sensor the timer will not work. So click on the sensor palette, and from here just drag and drop the clock sensor. The clock sensor component is not visible on the screen. It's an invisible component. When you scroll down, you'll be able to see here at the bottom of the phone that non-visible component is clock 1. This is the sensor. This is very important. And make sure that you disable this sensor, because when we click on start button, then we want the sensor to get enabled. So when start button is clicked, then in the blocks panel on the left hand side, click on the clock 1 sensor. Just scroll down and you will be able to find set clock 1 dot timer enabled to. Now I want when the start button is clicked, then timer should be enabled. Okay, so set timer to true. So now when the pause button is clicked, so again I'll go and select this one. In the pause button, when you click on the pause button in the blocks panel, you'll be able to find this when pause.click block. And let's just duplicate this block by right clicking and then click on duplicate, place it here and change the value from true to false. So when pause button is clicked, then I want timer should change to false. Timer enabled should change to false, means timer should be disabled. Now when pause is fine, now let's go to the reset button. So now when the reset button is clicked, again then I want my timer should get disabled. So let's place this block here and let's again change the true to false. And when the reset button is clicked, then I want the timer should also display 000 for hour, minute and second. It should display 0. And if you remember, these zeros are labels. Okay, these hour, minute and second, these are labels. So I want the text of this label to be changed to 0. So inside this reset block, I will add, let's go to R and I will add the block, scroll down and I will use set hr.text. Means I want the text for hr to be set to 0 when the reset button is clicked. So I'll scroll up in the built-in blocks, go to math block and you'll be able to find this 0 here. Now snap the 0 here. Now I'll simply duplicate this and snap these here and change HR to minute and the third one to second. So now every time when the reset button is clicked, my timer sensor is disabled and the hour, minute and second, the text of hour, minute and second is changed to 0. Now let's code that when the timer is enabled. Okay, when your timer is enabled, then what should happen? So click on the clock 1 panel, clock 1 block in the blocks panel and then drag this block here on the screen. It says when clock 1 dot timer, means your timer starts when your clock sensor starts. Then what should happen? So I want when my clock timer starts, then it should start with seconds. So it should change the text of seconds. So let's, in the blocks panel, let's go to the second component and let's drag and drop this. Okay, so it says, let's first keep it here. It says set second dot text to. Now again, let me complete this. You will get in a moment what I'm trying to say. Let's drag and drop and snap this block here. It says set second dot text to. Again, let's go to the second block and I want it should set to second dot text plus 1. So every time when the sensor starts, it should add 1. It will start with 0 and the text of your second label should be changed to 1 every time. So it should not change to 1, but every time it should add. So that's why I use this, that second dot text plus 1. So second dot text is equal to second dot text plus 1. So in the first go it will be 0 plus 1. So it will display 1 on the screen. Then it will be 1 plus 1, then 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4. Every time we want that, the time should be added to the previous text. So that's why I did this set second dot text to second dot text plus 1. Okay, but if my second dot text reaches to 59, it should not go to 60, 61, 62. It should change the minute hand to, or the minute time to 1. So in that case, I'll be using here if then, I will be using here if then else block here. I'll snap this here and then in the if block I will check. So I'll go to the second and I'll go if second dot text. So let's keep it here and we'll go to the math block and we have an equal to block here. I'll snap this here and I'll then snap this inside here. If second dot text is equal to 59, okay, then it should do something, and else it should add to 1. So every time when the second text is not 59, then it will keep on adding 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 up to 59. And once the second dot text is 59, then what should it do? It should change the minute time to 1. Okay, so let's duplicate this one and place it here. So I'll change the second to minute and again minute. So it should change minute text to 1. Okay, minute dot text to 1. Again 1 1 1 should be added every time in one go, every time after one loop. And it should also set the second text to again 1. So it should set, so I'll go to the seconds component and place this component here. Okay, let's not here, it should be here, and this one, wait a minute, yeah, this, sorry, I'm so sorry. Let's snap this block and place this here, and this one, okay, and this one should be added inside the else block. Okay, so yeah, so every time when, now let's first go to the math and add here 0. So every time when my second the text of my second label reaches 0, it should change the text to again 0. It reaches to 59, it should start again from 0, and it should change the minute time to 1 by 1. Then it should again go to 1 2 3 4 5. But again, now if my minute time reaches to 59 minutes, then it should change the hour to 1. Okay, so again I go and for this I need to check the condition. So again I'll drag and drop the if then block here, and now I'll check the same thing for minute. So let's just duplicate this block and place it here. If minute dot text is equal to 59, when my minute is equal to 59, then it should change r to 1, r by 1, sorry. Then so I'll duplicate that and change the second dot text to r dot text by 1. So when my clock timer starts, okay, I'm explaining the entire block back to you again. First of all, when we click on start button, then I want my clock sensor to it should enable a timer enabled is a property, and I want the property should set to true. That means my sensor should be enabled. When I click on pause button, the timer enabled property should set to false. That means the timer will become the sensor will be disabled. Again, when my reset button is clicked, at that time I want again my timer my sensor, the timer enabled property of my sensor again to set as false. That means I want my sensor, clock sensor, to be disabled. So, and I want hour, minute and second, the time hour, minute and second to be changed to 1, because hour, minute and seconds are labels. Labels means it's like a text box, you can add text there. So the text of my hour, minute and seconds are changed to 0 every time when I click on the reset button, because I want the timer should start again from 0. The fresh lap should start. So, and this fourth block says when your timer, now your sensor is running. Once your sensor, your clock sensor is enabled. So when clock 1.timer it's running, then do the following. Then what should it do? It should check if your second text is equal to 59 or not. So initially when your timer will start, the second will not be 59, it will be 0 by default. Okay, so if it is 0, then it should change the text of my second by 1. So every second it will increase the time by 1. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 59. So once my text, my second text reaches to 59, then it will again set the text to 0, the second text to 0, and seconds will be changed to 0, and then minutes Now minutes will keep on adding by 1. So now minute will be added by 1. Okay. Then again, if your minute reaches 59, then I want it to do this. If your minute is not 59, okay, just a minute, I missed one block, that if my minute reaches 59, then it should do this, and it should also change my minute to 0. Let's duplicate this and place this one here. It should also change my minute.text to 0. When my minute.text reaches 59, then it should change my minute text to 0, and it should increase the R text by 1. Okay. Then again it will start from second, and the R will go on. I never want my R to be set to 0. R will go on every time. When minute will reach to 59, R will increase by 1. So this is the entire app. Now let's go to the designer thing, designer window, and now we will test this app. So to test the app, click on connect, click on AI companion, and I will use my phone to scan this code. I'll use the MIT App Inventor app on my iOS device to test the app, and if you are using your Android device, then use MIT AI Inventor app, AI Companion app. Do download MIT AI Companion app on your Android device. Open the app, and then you can scan the code and test the app on your Android device. And if you are using iOS device, then download MIT App Inventor app on your iOS device. Open the app, scan the code, and you will be able to test the app on your device. Yes, also make sure to change the background color of your this horizontal arrangement, this horizontal arrangement, this is horizontal arrangement number 3, to white or to any other color. Don't keep it transparent, because if it will be transparent, you will not be able to see these zeros on the device, on your mobile device, because these zeros are black in color and our background is also black, so you will not be able to see the text on the screen. So make sure you change the text background color of horizontal arrangement to white, or you can change it to any color. So I'm okay with the white color, so let's change it to white and let's test the app. Okay, so now we can see that the time is running, the second is running really slow. So what we can do is go to the clock sensor, click on the clock component, and in the properties panel, let's change the time interval to 100 instead of 1000, because 1000 means 1 second, every 1 second. Let's change this to 100, and now then let's test the app. Yeah, so my app is working fine. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for staying with me so far. Happy inventing.